panel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you both for being here with us today. I'd like to take a quick step back here for a moment to look more broadly at how the EPA has operated or chosen not to operate under the statutory guidelines of the Clean Air Act. I think that the multi-pollutant emission standards rules that we're discussing here today is emblematic of a larger weaponization of the agency to advance radical causes at the expense of fulfilling its actual basic duties as set out by Congress. The EPA has consistently done this by stepping out of its authorized lane and attempting to force its wishes on the American people without the authority to do that. The Clean Air Act directs the EPA to reduce pollutant emissions from vehicles themselves and not force a monumental shift towards an alternative transportation technology through stringent emission standards. So in theory, the EPA could mandate the use of mass transit to achieve emissions reductions, but such an effort would clearly be beyond its statutory authority. Representative Wahlberg, can you discuss the negative consequences of the EPA exceeding its statutory authorities as set out by Congress in carrying out sweeping new policies like the one we're discussing here today?
Well, the EPA regularly misses its deadlines for things that they already have priority and responsibility for. To put this in place at this point in time, when automatically 60% of new cars in 2030 and 7% in 2032 would be required to meet these standards, that goes beyond, as we figured, 17% higher than the president's campaign promise or called for in his executive order. So this is a EPA that, in a sense, has gone rogue, establishing a virtual mandate, if we can use that term, a virtual mandate that can't be met by anything except a vehicle itself. That won't work for most of the people. That's a major concern.
Thank you. And Representative Wahlberg, not only are these emission standards outside EPA's authority, they were promulgated by people who seem to be willingly ignore real-world impacts on these policies. As my colleagues have pointed out today, in colder weather areas, battery performance can be decreased by as much as 40%. Add on top of the fact that EVs have a limited towing capacity, and you have a vehicle with a performance that is substantially worse than the nameplate performance. In my district, it's both cold, and we have vast agricultural footprint. This proposed rule would mean farmers of all varieties that rely on pickups for farm work would be severely impacted by the proposed actions. Representative Wahlberg, in your view, would the EPA's proposed rule, if finalized, result in harm to the future of the American agriculture industry, and would it put farmers and ranchers at the mercy of unreliable and unaffordable forms of transportation?
Thanks for asking that question. My district is heavily agriculture. They would like the F-150 for charging between the next Farm Bureau meeting and their farm, because it's fun to drive. I've driven it myself. But due to the work that they need to do, haul the trailers, cover the miles that their acreages need day in and day out, it just won't work. They're very concerned about this, and it goes away, especially in the sense of the fossil fuel industry with corn growers. They would like to see a means by which we can clean it up. They think they can with ethanol, as opposed to mandating something that will take away what they have in place, what they can work on, and what works best for their industry.
My dear friends, this is important news. Key pieces of legislation have been approved in several states, leaving many with the chance of another extra relief payment. Select households will be able to claim as much as $2,400. My dear friends, please do me a big favor and watch until the end of this video to learn more about this. Also, friends, to say thank you for being part of this community. Every Friday, I will be announcing several winners for the Walmart gift card giveaway. If you would like to enter these weekly giveaway, friends, all you have to do is click and like several of my videos and then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My dear friends, the more videos that you comment on, the greater your chances of winning these giveaways. Also, please make sure that you do stay tuned. I will be announcing the winners of yesterday's giveaway. There are some extra relief checks, going to select Americans. According to the Washington Examiner, payments worth up to $2,400 for retired Texas teachers will be distributed at the end of December. This is through the state teacher retirement system. Retired teachers who are at least 70 years old will receive a one-time $2,400 stipend. Former teachers who elected to receive their annuity check via paper check will see their benefits in the mail on December 28th. And those who opted for direct deposits will see their benefits in their accounts on December 29th. Texas lawmakers passed Senate Bill 10 this year, which proposed raises between 2% and 6% to retired teachers' monthly pension checks. Under Senate Bill 10, a one-time $7,500 stipend will be given to eligible annuitants who are 75 years or older, and a one-time $2,400 stipend will be given to eligible annuitants aged 70 to 74 by January 2024. The expanded 2021 child tax credit increased the minimum credit amount, made the credit fully refundable, and provided half the credit in monthly payments. This improved child tax credit contributed to a dramatic reduction in food insufficiency among households with children and helped many families purchase food, including higher quality and quantities of food. However, this essential expansion was only temporary. When the expanded child tax credit ended, hunger rates skyrocketed. More than 1 in 6 households with children experienced food insecurity in 2022. That was a 40% increase compared to 2021. Congress must act now to pass an expanded and inclusive child tax credit, and anti-hunger advocates have a vital role to play in speaking to how this policy fights hunger. Maine is one of several U.S. states continuing a form of the child tax credit into 2024, even as the Biden administration's version of the credit has now expired. The state of Maine offers a refundable child tax credit of up to $300 each year per child for eligible families in the state. The permanent recurring tax credit was expanded to be refundable earlier this year. The tax credit is available to families with children under the age of 18. To qualify for the $300 refundable tax credits, an individual must be making a federally adjusted gross income of $400,000 or less for joint filers, or $200,000 or less for individual filers. The tax credit is currently fixed at $300, but will be indexed to inflation beginning on January 1st, 2025, as part of the annual budget that was signed into law in June. The original child tax credit for Maine was passed in 2018. Since the federal child tax credit expired in 2022, several states, including New York, Maryland, and California, have expanded their child tax credit offerings. Another strong jobs report came out on Friday, exceeding expectations. Nearly 200,000 jobs were created last month, and unemployment dropped to 3.7%, which is near full employment. Americans are also spending at a record rate this holiday shopping season. 200 million Americans shop between Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday, higher than expected and the most ever. But despite all that, pessimism about the U.S. economy still persists. Both Gallup and the Pew Research Center found just 1 in 5 Americans rated the economy as either excellent or good. There is a huge divide by party on the question of the economy, and there's a stark switch that's been taking place when there's a new administration. And this party line view of the economy is very noticeable among Republicans. Overall inflation after the crisis began rose to an all-time high of 9.1% in June of last year, But food inflation was an even higher 11.4% last summer. That meant things like steak, eggs, cheese, bacon, potato chips, coffee, ice cream, and cookies were more expensive. Well, my magnificent and most marvelous friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for today. My dear friends, the winners of yesterday's Walmart gift card giveaway is Jill Shin and Carla Navarro. Congratulations, my dearest friends. To claim your gift cards, please check your notifications page and send me a message. Or, my dear friends, you could message me on my Facebook page. Thank you, and have a wonderful and very blessed day.